Hey guys, it's George again. So I'm continuing the FroKnowsPhoto raw edit number 57. This will be part 2. And this one I'm going to go a little wilder, a little crazy. I'm going to take a kind of a cool little look. I have an idea for it. I'm going to start off where I left off. This was where I left off in part 1. Let me show you kind of a before and after of part 1 real quick. Alright, so the before and after of part 1 was this. You know, clean up her face, enhanced it, enhanced her eyes, enhanced her lips, added a little shadowing. I think it looks pretty good. So now I'm going to do a little kind of crazy, wild, quirky look. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Command Shift Option and E to duplicate a composite layer so that I can do all my compositing on this. So now I'm working from the file where I left off. First thing I want to do is I actually want to close off this. I don't want to show her hair for this look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select her headdress thing and duplicate it. So once you make a selection, if you hit Command J, it duplicates this on a new layer, and I can move it around and transform and do whatever I want. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to move it just a tad, and then I'm going to warp it so that I can get like a nice rounded edge here. And I want to come down because I'm trying to hide her hair for this look, but I don't want to hide too much of her face. So I got to kind of work back and forth here. And that's looking pretty good. So that'll be one side, and let me do the other side. And I'll have to come in and clean this off with a mask, so that'll be next. Now let me do this side. So I make this selection here, hit Command J again to make a new layer, and move it, and warp. And have a little bit of a curve here. And I actually don't mind it coming to a peak. It actually looks kind of cool. Okay, so that's actually looking pretty cool. I might warp this side just a little bit more. And then it's time to, I gotta mask this out so that I made a new mask. I'm gonna use my brush and then just paint black here. And I'm doing this fairly quickly for this video because I don't want it to run too long. I know it's gonna run long anyways. Usually I would probably go in and do a lot more finer detail, but I just kind of want to show what I'm doing here so that everybody can see kind of what I'm doing. Hey, get out there. Come on. Sorry, my dog's underneath my desk. I'll probably speed this up. Okay, so that's one side. Now let's do the other side. Same thing, select the layer, make a mask, use my brush, and go in here and do this again. Okay, so that masks out both of those. Okay, let me bring this back and let's find out. No, it looks pretty good. Can't complain. Okay. Next, I'm going to mask these out on the back side as well, just so that they don't have a hard edge right here. Just so that it kind of transitions better in. And it looks like one piece. Same on this side. The top is going to be a little iffy, but it's all going to go pretty dark anyway, so I'm not worried. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm just going to clone up here just to finesse all of this. No, I'm sorry. Just so that I don't have any of this like lost area up here. Just, it's going to be all dark anyway, so it doesn't have to be exact, but I like to have at least a good, decent starting point. Okay, so that's that. That looks pretty good. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make everything black and white using the hue saturation and going black and white. Okay, that's what I want. I have to add a little shadow from this on her face. So I'm just going to paint that in with a brush. Brush, 5% black. And I'm just going to paint, since this layer is above it, I can just kind of paint it in and have no problem because it's already behind her anyways. So I'm just kind of painting in the shadow. I'm going a little far right now because I'll bring it back in later. You'll see what I'm doing when I'm done. Okay, so that takes care of that. Next thing I want to do is I want to make a curve that darkens the outside because I want it to be kind of a dark, kind of like that. Okay, so that darkens everything. I'm going to use a paintbrush, paint in some black. In this case, I do want a lot of darkness down here and on the sides, and this is supposed to be a really dark piece, so all of this needs to kind of go to black. And I'm just kind of painting in black everywhere, and I'm going to hint at this clothing. Use my mask, and I can bring back some of it in here and there and wherever you want, you know. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, and here's where it gets interesting, I'm going to make I'm going to pause it for a second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I want to change the color of her face. So I'm going to do a curve. And I'm going to add a little red, remove a little blue, give it a little yellowish, add a little more red, and that was looking pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to fill it all with black, and then I'm going to paint with white just in here, because I only want her face to be this color. I don't want it to affect the clothing right now. Alright, so that, again, I'm doing this kind of quick for this screen flow. I would usually really kind of take my time and make sure I got all the fine details and stuff, but you'll get the idea what I'm doing. Next, I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to select a red color and I'm going to paint it in here. I'm just going to paint all her face in, and you'll see what I'm doing when I'm done painting this in. Okay, so I just want to paint everything in right now. Okay. All right. Now that I have everything kind of painted in, I might have to go in and clean off this red off of this clothing we have here, but for now this is pretty good. And then I'm going to put this on, I believe, soft light should work. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Hard light? Oh, there we go. Hard light. Okay. So that's kind of what I want. On a red face. Now, I want to do a curve to darken her face just a little bit. Contrast her face just a tad bit. I went too far, I think. Okay, that's kind of what I want. So now I got to go in here and I'm going to make a mask. And this is basically just because I don't want this to be affecting the clothing here. So I just want to go in here and oops. Go in here and clean it off of the clothing. And I might have to go in and paint again. Paint it in here. And there. Okay, so that's looking pretty good now. Okay, I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to remove this red from her eye. Because I don't want her eye to be red, obviously. I want it to be kind of a white eye, like that. And then I have to remove it from this as well. Because right now there's a little red in there. I don't want that. Okay. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Alright, that's starting to look pretty cool. Next thing I want to do, actually, you know what? I actually don't mind that in there. Give that eye just a little pinkish. Okay, next thing I want to do is I want to make her eye yellow. So I'm going to come in here with a yellow, paint it in. Again, probably soft light. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Okay, maybe duplicate it. Yeah, okay, so then I'm going to do that 50%. Okay, then I'm going to make a mask. I want a mask up in here so it's a little darker. Some of that like that. And then make a new layer, put it on overlay. And I want to add a little highlight. Oh, sorry, it's 5%. Add a little highlight down here. And default, add a little darkness. The edges, add a little highlight, add a little darkness, add a little highlight, add a little darkness. And that's kind of what I was looking for. I'm looking for that pretty cool looking scary dude. Okay, so what's next? I guess I can lighten his face up a little bit, but I don't want to go too light. Okay, so there. Next thing I want to do is, this is where I think everybody's going to recognize this. I went online and I found a picture of Darth Maul. And I traced his tattoos on his face. And I made a layer. And I brought it in. Okay, so that's kind of what his tattoos look like. So now I'm going to bring them in overlay and knock them back maybe just a tad around there. That's actually looking pretty cool already. I'm going to blur them just a little bit so that they look a little, so that the edges don't look so sharp. Not that much, obviously. Okay, so just a little bit, just to make the edges not be so sharp. All right, that's looking pretty cool. Let's see. Raise my opacity, maybe on soft light, and duplicate it a couple of times. That might work a little better. Okay. So now next I gotta mask this out. I could probably use it based on this. So now, see, I just made a mask, and then I'm gonna duplicate that mask onto there. And now we have a pretty cool looking scary dude. so I'm going to take this guy. Just want to make sure, when I brought in that tattoo stuff, it came in over the eye, and I just kind of want to remove it from the eye so that the eye really glows. There's no darkness in there. Okay. That looks pretty cool. Yeah. That's actually kind of fun. I was just playing around and I decided maybe I would do a Darth Maul for this edit. And then I wonder if I would do basically I moved him over to the side and I'm going to just fill this side in with black because I want to do I might do a lightsaber over on this side right here, just like a big lightsaber. So let me try to do that. Okay, so let's see. How would I do a lightsaber? Well, first thing I would do is probably make a selection and fill that selection with a red. Okay. Okay, so then I would filter, blur that. But yay much first. I'm going to start off slow. Do it again, and then take this one and blur this one a lot more. Duplicate that layer, blur it a lot more. Kind of like that. Okay, so then up top I want to make a selection here. Select control shoot. Edit. I want to transform my selection. Okay, here we go. Transform selection. So I want to make it a little smaller. I want to fill it with white. And then I want to blur this. That's too much. About there. And I think I need to move it a little bit more. And then blur it. Oops, blur, filter, Gaussian blur. Okay, I need to blur it more. Gaussian blur. Just trying to get that like white glow from a lightsaber, you know? Alright, so that's looking pretty okay. Next, I'm going to move it over. Kind of like he's holding it. I'm going to put this in its own group so that I can lightsaber. Okay. Now, can I put this on like an overlay or something? That won't work. It's a little too in his face. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. I kind of want to like get her face actually. I guess this is gonna look pretty cool. Blur, Gaussian blur. Filter, blur, Gaussian blur. I'm just kind of blurring all the edges again, just to try to make them a little better. And I guess that's kind of what a lightsaber looks like. I think this white, I think I need to make it a little pinker, so it's not pure white. Hold on. I believe that's going to be my edit for the crazy edit. It's already 20 minutes. Yeah, I think I like it. I mean, that's pretty cool. I guess the last thing I would do is I would make a curve and pump up the red curve way up there, like that, and mask it all out. And then what I would do is I would come back with my brush and remove that mask. And basically what I'm going to be doing is, oops, not so far, 5%. Just adding a little bit of like, he would have some of this red glow from the lightsaber, you know? Just kind of, you know, lightsabers light would be reflecting on him like that. So I think that looks pretty cool. It's definitely different, huh? So that's gonna be my second edit, and I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel and leave comments and give me a thumbs up. I really like hearing from you guys and stuff. So yeah, I think that's gonna be my edit. I think it looks pretty cool. So talk to you soon. Bye.